Hello, everyone. So, I want to talk about how to know when you're ready for shadow work. Someone questioned me about shadow work, so I want to start off with how to know that you're there, or that it's time for you to, to make that step, make that leap. It's a leap, it ain't no step. um, so, I wrote down some points. Uh, One of the most significant ways you'll know is because um, especially like along this spiritual journey, people tend to try to manifest things. You pray for things, you ask for things, you try to get in alignment with those things, and they don't line up for you. They don't work. Like you continuously have blockages. Like you might, it might almost seem like as if somebody's doing something against you, work against you. It might seem like as if somebody's cursed you. It might seem like as if you can't move forward no matter what you try to do. um, Blockages, right? You can't get a better job. You can't get a better place to stay. You never make more money. Like it just seems like you want to progress, but you can't. And that's another thing that I was going to say is your desire changes. Like you want to expand naturally. As human beings, we're supposed to. But when you haven't dealt with your shadow self, when you haven't dealt with the issues or underlying issues in your life, you might want to move past it, like jump over it and move past it and and get to this, successful version of yourself, but it can't happen because you've got blockages in the way. So although your desire changes and you you need to change, you're expanding and you want different things, you just can't seem to. It's almost like a missing bridge from one side of whatever, with one side of the town to the other. Like it's separated by tons of water and that water's deep, and that's how it is. Shadow work is not for everyone, and I want to point out that if you are led to shadow work, it's because you're meant to, like 100%, it's because you're meant to change your bloodline. It's because you're meant to redeem your bloodline, because you're meant to break generational curses, because you're meant to do something different that hasn't been done. And that's why it's the shadow, because it's never just. So I feel like one of the misconceptions about shadow work is that people think it's personal. It's personal, but it's also your entire damn family. It's your entire your entire ancestral lineage. It's never just your shadow. You are just a continuation of the shadows before you. So the things that your mother did not deal with, the things that your father did not deal with, the things that your grandparents didn't deal with, it's an ongoing process and it's exhausting. Okay, and it's never just your own shadow. And it makes sense. You get raised by these people, so the things that block them, that weren't necessarily healthy for them, or particular behaviors or attitudes and things like that that they took part in, and then they raised you, it's already within your subconscious from a young age. And so that's why it's never just your shadow. It's the shadow of all those people who came before you, right? um Another reason I feel like you would know that you are ready for shadow work is you start to make yourself sick. Like you start to, and what I mean by that is you start to feel like as if the things that you're your own worst enemy. Like you start to feel like the darkness is you, the heaviness that you feel is you, the burden that you feel is you. You might even halfway feel like the other way around, like instead of fixing it, you might feel depressed because it feels like something you can't change about yourself, something heavy, something depressing, something that's like a real burden on you. Shadow work can look kind of bleak before you get into it. And it's not much prettier when you get into it either. But once you start making leeway, then, things brighten up. But that's how, that's one of the ways that I knew that I was meant to do it or that it was time to do it, because I felt like I'm doing stupid shit. Like I'm just continuously making the same mistake or running into the same wall, like as if I didn't see that shit, like that type thing. You can't do shadow work and be in denial. You can't do shadow work and like have triggers. I noticed that with like the spiritual community, that people are like, oh, watch out for other people's triggers. And when in real life, you haven't done the work if you're still being triggered. You haven't done the work if you're still in denial about certain things. Um, Once you dig into why things trigger you and why you don't want to see things the way they are, that I mean, that's what shadow work is digging into the unknown. Um, Another way that you might know is that you feel like you've been uprooted. Like the things that your friends talk about, they don't seem interested anymore. The things that your family doesn't seem fun. Uh, the food that you eat, the clothes that you wear, like everything kind of just starts to fall away and lose significance because your shadow is taking, eh, I want to say taking form. It's always there with you. It's always been there. It's just the more you become aware of it, the less you care about anything else around you. Um, I would even go so as far as to say that, at least for me, I felt like I had an what do you call it? Dissociative disorder, in the sense that I didn't feel like I was myself. Like somebody else, not like somebody else is living my body, but I didn't feel like I was me. I didn't feel like I was me, the birth name that was given to me, or that particular avatar, for lack of other words. I didn't feel like that person is me. And I still kind of don't, because I've changed that much and I'm okay with it. But at some point in time, I felt like, damn, this like feels kind of sick to not feel like myself, or feel like my name doesn't belong to me, that type thing. But you will feel that, like a heavy sense of, that's not who I am. Whatever your parents named you, whatever, I don't know, career you might have taken on, or particular hobby or thing that you're known for, you will even dissociate yourself from the things that you love, because the shadow is pushing itself upon you. It wants to be seen, it wants to be recognized, it wants you to open your eyes and see it. And so, doing this work takes heavy commitment, because yeah, people are going to think that something's wrong. And that's how it is sometimes, excuse me. And lastly, the thing that I want to talk about that's kind of brighter is you might be ready for spiritual work, or excuse me, shadow work, if you have been seeing animals, and in particular animal guides, like your totem. If you are repeatedly seeing a certain animal around you, um, or in your dreams, in visions, people mention them, you happen to see it on TV, you happen to see them outside, you see it in a book, like, I can't say in particular such and such animal, because for me it was a snake and there's a significance behind that. But I know for everyone it can be something different. The point is, it's repetitive and you just like, damn, why I keep seeing this animal everywhere. That would be why. It's trying to tell you to dig into work. And the the animal, you always want to look it up when you do see it, because every animal has a different characteristic and a different personality. And so there's a way that you need to approach your shadow work. There's an end result, and you need to honor that animal in doing so. So for me, damn it, hold on. My bad. For me, like my spirit animal being the snake, I knew that when I get done, I'm shedding the skin. Like that's all that this shadow is just me peeling the skin off and being made new. And I did it several times. I've done it several times, and I'll probably continue to do it over and over and again, like, throughout my life, because that's what snakes do. That's my guide. That's what I'm stuck with. I didn't choose it. It came after me. And it's crazy. Like when I said that it comes in your dreams, it'll come in your dreams like ridiculously. But it even gets to the point that I see them in person, or I've seen them in person, especially when I start to gear off of something that I haven't worked through. Um, but it can be any kind of animal, any kind at all. And then lastly, your spirit guides or your ancestors, I'm putting them in the same category in the sense, because they're both non-physical. But you might start getting messages, um, For example, I know someone when they started digging into shadow work, one of their ancestors that had passed before they were even born, but she recognized her from the picture book, from a family photo book, and she kept showing and telling her to come with her, follow her. And that's how she got initiated into shadow work, in a sense of her own, of the family line, of her family lineage in particular, because that ancestor was literally guiding her and bringing her to it. And you can expect your spirit guides, if you're meant to do so, they will be nudging you. Same thing with your ancestors, they will be nudging you. And yeah, that's some of the ways that you can know that, or be really assured that it's time for you to make that leap, like I said, into shadow work. And so if you like this video, please like it or hit the thumbs up button. Please comment, please subscribe and share and all of that good stuff. And bye.